It all began on May 6, 2024. Mina Kang stood at the edge of the XX building's rooftop, eyes fixed, heart steady. Without hesitation, she jumped. But instead of falling to her death, something remarkable happened. She vanished. Moments later, Mina reappeared on a quiet beach, the salty air of the ocean filling her lungs. She had teleported 50 kilometers away, her farthest jump yet. Mina used her teleportation to enter her bathroom. Her mother, hearing the water, asked when she had come home and whether she was trying to scare her. Mina calmly explained she had stepped out for fresh air and to see the ocean. Her mother reminded her that dinner awaited and that the anniversary of her father's death was approaching. A wound still fresh, still unhealed. Her mind drifted back to that fateful day when her father was brutally stabbed. Her mother had screamed, desperate to see the killer's face. But all Mina could remember was the feeling of helplessness. Her resolve steeled, Mina returned to the rooftop. Her test continued. Teleportation was no simple matter. She counted the cooldown 1 to 2 seconds between jumps. She measured her limits. 24 consecutive teleports drained her stamina. One rule was crystal clear: never overlap with solid objects. The consequences were too painful. Another goal beckoned: how far could she teleport in one bound? Driven by both fear and curiosity, Mina attempted to teleport into a bank vault. For a split second, her eyes caught the gleam of 5 billion won. But reality came crashing back. Such reckless behavior was a fool's game. The authorities, or worse, criminal organizations, would quickly take notice. Stealing was out of the question. The next morning, Mina walked to school, weighed down by the burden of her secret. Her teleportation was not for convenience. A luxury car cut through the crowd. In the back seat, Lua, the heiress of the Illy group, smirked, a symbol of privilege and cruelty. To Mina, Lua represented everything she could never have. Born rich, born untouchable. At school, Mina's thoughts wandered. Her power could only serve two purposes: steal or travel for free. Neither seemed worth the risk. During lunch break, Mina escaped to the gym. She teleported into the sky, marveling at the world's beauty from above. Then her attention shifted to a group outside: the bullies. Chan Hee, a timid boy, was the target. Lua led her gang, Junwoo, Jihan and Yura, forcing Chan Hee to wear lipstick, spray water on him and parade him like a joke. They boasted their cosmetic brand was so exclusive that Chan Hee became their unwilling ambassador. Mina recognized Lua from the luxury car. Her instinct was to leave. Getting involved was too risky. But Lua had other plans. She singled Mina out, slapping her hard. "Where are your manners?" Lua taunted. "Politeness matters," she added with a cruel grin. Mina remained silent, suppressing rage. Lua escalated her cruelty. She mocked Mina for being fatherless, revealing the tragic news that her cop father had been stabbed to death during a bar fight. No one else in the school knew. "I'm the reason you act tough," Lua sneered. Another slap. Then a humiliating kick, followed by money thrown at Mina. "Buy new glasses, beggar," Lua said as she walked away. Mina and Chan Hee were told to stay after school, to be taken somewhere nice. But Mina had other ideas. She grabbed Lua, teleporting them above the ocean. Lua screamed, flailing. Mina's voice was cold, detached. "I told you to stop." Without hesitation, Lua was dropped into the sea. Mina returned to school, leaving Lua struggling in the water. Jihan was shocked to see only Mina and Chan Hee remained behind him, and Lua was nowhere to be seen. Her smile was slight but knowing. A memory surfaced. Young Mina, tears in her eyes, holding a knife. Her dog Dory lay dead at her feet. She had punished Dory for killing her rabbit, Sena. In the present, guilt gnawed at Mina's core. Had she killed Lua? And worse, had Chan Hee seen? Jun slapped Chan Hee, demanding Lua's whereabouts. Jihan tried to stop him but failed. Chan Hee's face turned blue from pressure. Mina considered teleporting them all like Lua, but restrain herself. Revealing her power now would only expose her guilt. A teacher intervened. He asked what was happening. Jihan lied, claiming Chan Hee had merely fallen. Teacher said, "Stop lying. His face is bleeding. I cannot just let this go." The bullies stared at the teacher. Suddenly the teacher's face paled. Jihan said, "Mr. Jung Ho, I told you it is nothing. Why are you making a fuss?" Mina was puzzled. Jihan continued, "Let me ask you, when are you going to pay back my 50 million won? Mina remembers rumors that the teacher lost everything in crypto. The teacher asks where Lua is. Her grandmother called the school, saying she could not reach her. Jihan said, "You should have told us that first. We do not know where she is either. That is why we are looking. Why don't you help us instead?" The chairman is worried. Jihan took the opportunity to twist the narrative, demanding the teacher find Lua first, offering to reduce his debt if successful. He noted something was off. June barked orders, demanding Mina and Chan Hee find Lua and report back without raising suspicion. Mina's guilt deepened. She told herself Lua might already be dead. Meanwhile, in the Philippines, a man stood over a terrified victim begging for mercy. "I'll pay any amount," the man pleaded, but the killer remained unmoved. Payment had already been made. "It is done," he said into the phone. "I'm heading out early today. My daughter's birthday," he added. His attempt to reach Lua failed. "I'll never be a good father," he thought. Back in Korea, silence reigned. 2 days passed since Lua vanished. No uproar, no media frenzy. Only Mina's mounting suspicion. At school, Yura worried aloud. No one knew what happened to Lua. Jihan told her to shut up and try contacting other places. If they didn't find Lua, they would all die. Jun came from behind and asked him that if he was talking to his brother. Gihan demanded to know if he had found Lua. Jun broke down crying. He said he couldn't find Lua anywhere. He had beaten up everyone he met, but no one knew where she was. His brother kept calling him and threatening to kill him if Lua was not found quickly. Jihan accused Jun of abandoning them. Jun replied coldly that he hung out with them only because he had a crush on Lua. He did not want to clean up their mess now that she was gone. Yura threatened Joan. She showed photos on her phone of Joan abusing girls at the club, drugging them, and having his fun, in another classroom. Mina felt the back of her neck itch. She never cared who watched her until now. Could it be Yoon Chan-hee saw what she did? She panicked. Lua was the heir to the Illy group. If word got out that Mina was involved, she would not escape easily. Mina invited him to a PC cafe, not to protect but to control. At the same time, in the Philippines, a woman informed Lua's father that the cleanup was complete. The target would be reported as killed by rival gangs. Lua's father found it strange that Lua had no updates on Instagram for 2 days. Her phone suddenly turned off yesterday. Suddenly he realized they were being followed. He broke the signal and turned quickly into an alley. 2 white vans blocked his car, but it was abandoned. The men in the van ordered their team to search for him. Lua's father jumped from above. He attacked one man with a knee to the neck, threw another over his shoulder. One man pointed a gun towards him. But the woman appeared behind him and ordered him to drop his gun and kneel. He kicked the leader of the attackers in the face. The men identified him as Lee Sahayon. They said they were following the chairwoman's orders to escort him back to Korea. The chairwoman was revealed to be the Lee Suayon mother-in-law. The man explained that the young lady Lee Lua had disappeared. Back at the PC cafe, the Illy group announced restructuring. No mention of Lua. The cover-up was meticulous. How could the chairwoman be so calm when her granddaughter was missing? Chan-hee asked if Mina had looked for Lua after Jahan told them to. Mina insulted him, calling him a loser. He replied that he was worried because now they were both on the radar. Mina said she didn't care about trash like them. She decided to keep an eye on him to see if he really saw what happened or would spread it around. Mina told Chan-hee to stay with her from now on. A naive kid like him would get robbed again if alone. Chan-hee refused and ran away, claiming it was better this way. He wanted to handle the situation by himself. Suddenly, a breaking news alert appeared on PC. According to citizen reports, a knife rampage was happening right in front of the PC cafe. Mina's thoughts immediately went to Chan-hee. Outside, a man was waving a knife at civilians, shouting that they were all in it together. He attacked anyone in his way. Chan-hee came out of the cafe and saw a woman hurt. He picked her up and asked if she was okay. The rampaging man claimed everyone was involved in some nonsense only he understood. He attacked Chan-hee. Mina stood on the edge of the building looking down at the attacker and Chan-hee. She thought to herself, why wasn't he running away? Then a darker thought crossed her mind. If Chan-hee died, wouldn't that be lucky for her? She remembered how Lua once mocked her about her father being stabbed on by a drunk man. With no more hesitation, Mina jumped down and pinned the attacker to the ground, saving Chan-hee. The crowd around them murmured in confusion. The attacker shouted to let him go. Mina thought, I made it in time, what should I do now? Then Chan-hee shouted, watch out. The attacker used all his strength to attack Mina with a knife aimed at her head. Before the knife could hit her, Mina teleported him into the sky. Shocked bystanders watched in disbelief. She thought to herself, I didn't think and just teleported up here. I need to get somewhere without people. But the attacker did not stay still. He attacked again. Mina let him go because his knife cut her hand. The man began to fall, but a memory struck Mina. How the man with the knife killed her father. Her thoughts returned to the dead dog. She simply stared at him as he fell to the ground and died. The crowd surrounded the attacker. They wondered if he was dead. Mina landed on a car and thought to herself that she had killed again. No way, I killed someone again. A smile appeared on her face. Meanwhile, A news reporter said a random stabbing incident occurred in front of an internet cafe. 4 people were injured but none were in danger. The suspect was identified as Mr. Yoon, who died at the scene. Many questions remained. A witness said someone suddenly fell from the sky and landed on the suspect. Then both of them vanished. Another said they recorded everything. The news channel edited out the shocking parts. The footage showed the moment when Chan-hee was about to be stabbed and how Mina appeared and vanished within a second. Someone was watching that broadcast played while playing golf. He said weird stuff was happening. A murderer falls from the sky and the granddaughter of the Il-hee group disappeared. Because of that, rumors of liquidation spread. He asked who started those rumors. He was with his man and bullies. Jin, Yura and Jihan. He asked, do you know why I invested in brats like you? Was it because of his stupid little brother? No. Who runs a business like that? The granddaughter of the Il-hee group is the first successor. I invested because I trusted Lua. I thought she would run a legitimate business. A bodyguard grabbed Jihan and pinned him down. Another grabbed Yura. Jun's brother said he always wanted to try what bosses do in gangster movies. Jihan said he could recover everything, but the brother pressed a golf ball against Jihan's ear and used him as a golf pin. They all stood shocked. The brothers' squad added that at least 5 billion won was involved. Jihan said Lua handled many businesses. If they ran them right, they could recover everything. Meanwhile, Mina looked at the blood on the ground behind the police line. She thought this was bad. She had left her bag and everything back at the cafe. She could not teleport because she wasn't familiar with the place. Chan-hee called her. This is your back, he said. Mina said thanks. He said I grabbed it before they locked the place. Mina said you didn't have to go that far. You're just born to become an errand boy. Chan-hee remained silent. She looked at him and said sorry, that was my mistake. He said it was fine, but how did you do that? The words stopped her. She looked back at Chan-hee. Mina replied coldly, I have no idea what you are talking about, and walked away. He followed her. She asked, why do you keep following me? Chan-hee said, your hand, is it okay? You got hurt earlier. When you caught the murderer, it was you, right? Just like with Lua. Mina thought to herself, so he did see me. What do I do now? If he starts talking about it, no one would believe something like this. Even if I leave him be. But the weapon? The knife with my blood. The police must have it as evidence. The only person who can link me to it is Chan-hee. She looked at him coldly and said, so what are you going to do about it? Yeah, I did kill them both. But weren't they just trash anyway? Mina continued. More importantly, do you realize how stupid you are, Chan-hee? You're standing in front of a murderer and shouting you saw everything. She grabbed his shirt and stared directly into his eyes. Then she started laughing. That's hilarious. I would never kill you. I can't kill you. With that, she began walking away. If I really were a murderer, you'd already be dead. While running, she thought, that was close. I almost killed him. Suddenly, Chan-hee shouted from behind, thank you for saving me twice from Lua and from the attacker. Mina stopped, looked back at him, said coldly, that never happened, before running away. As she ran, she thought, what the hell is this feeling? Far away at the beach, 2 kids were playing. They suddenly noticed a body washed up on the shore. It was Lua. Meanwhile, Jihan and Yura were talking. Jihan said, that bastard Wang Jonsong. I thought my ear would fall off. Yura asked, does it hurt a lot? Jihan replied, like a golf club hitting my head. Yura continued, anyway, what are you going to do about the 5 billion? Jihan remembered what Wang had told him. You have a week to get the full 5 billion ready. If even one is missing, I'll squeeze every last drop of your blood and sell it. Jihan thought, it was Lua who convinced me to invest in crypto and ran off with my wallet. Why the hell am I the one getting screwed? Joan could have bought me time, but he just snitched straight away. Jihan asked Yura, didn't you say you had lots of pictures of him messing with girls? Wouldn't that work on him? Yura said, Joan did his best. Don't tell me, did you make a deal behind my back? Jihan shouted, forget it, screw you all. Then June entered the room. Don't waste good liquor and chill. Jihan looked at him angrily. Jun continued, my brother told me to keep you guys in check, especially you, Jihan. That 5 billion profile or whatever. He wants it now. Jihan snapped, it's called a portfolio, you dumbass. If I hand over the plan to make 5 billion, your brother gets rich and I get screwed over. Jun asked sharply, what did you just say? Jihan replied, you do realize this all started because Lua disappeared, right? If we find her, we can fix this. You want to see her again, don't you? Joan said, well yeah. Yura added, but who knows when she'll come back. She's always been a spoiled princess, but this time she went too far. She's not dead, so she will come back for sure. But we can't afford to wait. Jahan ordered Joan, use every guy under you, check every club, every bar. With her personality, she will show up sooner or later. Jun ran off determined. I will find Lua no matter what. Yura says didn't he was supposed to be keep an eye on us. Jihan sighed, he's an idiot. Then said to Yura, call every girl in your contact, Lua's stash of drugs. We need to sell it. Meanwhile, the news was still broadcasting the story about the attacker who was killed in front of the PC cafe. Witnesses talked about how the person in the hoodie stopped the attacker and saved people's lives. Mina saw this on her phone and thought, this is it, what I supposed to do, I get it now. A small smile appeared on her face. Elsewhere, the same news played in a car. A woman said, finally back in Korea. What a mess this place has become. Behind her sits Lua's father. Later his mother-in-law arrived with a group of men to meet him. Then she began to cry. A flashback from the past revealed Lee Soo-hyun's tragic memory. When he was in the military, he saw his wife, Lee Ji-young, dead in front of him. His mother-in-law coldly told him a man's duty is to fight, hunt, and protect his territory for his mate and offspring. Nothing comes before a man's primal duty. She brought his daughter forward and said, when you took my daughter, I expected you to fulfill your role as a man. Lee Soo-hyun, this child's name is Lee Lua, the heir of Ili group. A child born to my daughter, unrelated to trash like you. Her voice was filled with contempt. Where were you when your wife was dying, Lee Soo-han? You are lower than scum. Back in the present, Lee Soo-han looked at his daughter lying motionless in front of him and said, it has been 16 years since we first met. From the moment you were born to your final moment, I was never there for you. His mother-in-law walked in and said coldly, I didn't call you because you are her father. As far as I know, you are the world's greatest murderer. Find the one who did this to her and bring me their head. Lee Soo-hyun answered with determination, I am not your subordinate. What I am about to do now is try to be a father for the first time. Tears streamed down his face. It's been 5 days since Lua went missing. At school, students whispered about why she hadn't shown up lately. Did she study abroad? Her family is filthy rich. Even the kids who used to hang out with her stopped coming. Hope she just dropped dead somewhere. Mina smiled to herself. I killed 2 people, a crime that can never be forgiven. Yet everyone looks so happy. Chan-hee called her from behind with a cheerful tone. Mina thought, here is another person whose face brightened up. Must be because she is gone. She smiled to herself and said coldly, stop acting like we know each other. Chan-hee asked why. Mina replied, didn't you call me a murderer? Aren't you scared? Chan-hee answered, I never said that. Yesterday, I just thanked you. I wanted to return the favor for helping me. He said, I mean, it doesn't have to be anything big. I just want to help. Mina replied, a can of black coffee. I didn't get any sleep last night. My head's all foggy. If I had coffee, I'd feel better. He asked, that's really all you want? She said, if you don't want to, then forget it, and began walking away. But Chan-hee smiled brightly and said, I'll go buy it right now. Mina thought, guess being an errand boy suits him. He happily bought coffee, while returning back to her. Jahan and June stopped him. Jahan said, long time no see. Coffee is just what I needed. He took the can from Chan-hee and asked, have you looked for Lua? Chan-hee replied, I have no clue where to start. Jihan sneered, so you haven't even tried? Let's talk somewhere else. Without warning, Joan grabbed Chan-hee and started beating him up on the terrace. You could at least pretend to be looking. Where is Mina? She was supposed to help. Chan-hee said, don't know. You can look for her yourself. Jan replied, what was that? My ears must be clogged. I can't hear well. Chan-hee repeated, you can go look for her yourself. June kicked him in the gut. Jihan said, why make life harder for yourself? If you don't look for her, you'll be stuck with us forever. Chan-hee shot back, without Lua, you're nothing. Jihan said, I was going to let it slide since you bought me coffee, then ordered Joan, strip this bastard. June started pulling Chan-hee's clothes. Just then, Yura called to Jihan. It's exactly like you said. I found a warehouse using the number Lua left behind. But it's no joke. I don't know if there's any drugs inside. Why is it so loud over there? Jahan said, hang on a second. Don't hang up. He commanded June to film Chan-hee from every angle and walked away, June taking out his brother anger on Chan-hee mercilessly. Mina shouted, demanding him to stop. June sneered at Mina and said, did you come here to get beaten up too? Or did you actually find Lua? Otherwise you will die by my hand. Mina's face remained devoid of any worry. How many people has he trampled on to live like this, she thought. June shouted, hey, are you even listening? Mina calmly replied, that's because no one has ever punished you. Before Jun could respond, he was suddenly teleported into the sky. Mina said coldly, From now on, I am going to give you a punishment you've never received before. June fell to the ground, his leg snapping painfully. Jun, what an overreaction for a broken leg, he yelled, where am I? Mina teleported from front to back. Jun turned around, confused. How? Mina teleported again and said, the construction company went bankrupt, so this apartment was abandoned mid-construction. But I think it's the perfect place for you to reflect on your sin. She stepped forward and pressed her foot onto his broken leg. Joan screamed in pain. Mina said, I'm giving you a chance right now. If you repent and promise to leave this life behind forever, I will let you go. You're talking nonsense, he shouted, trying to grab her leg. But she teleported him and threw him back onto the ground, his head hitting hard. I can't understand people like you, Mina said. Why do you live so recklessly? Is there no brain in your head? You are the real brainless one here. Do you even know who my older brother is? Joan sneered. Mina grabbed him by the collar and said, a foolish and wicked man. She teleported him into the sky and dropped him repeatedly until he was completely broken. She asked again, how about now? Are you finally coming to your senses? Joan replied weakly, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Mina bent towards his face and said, good. That's where it starts, apologized Chan-hee, not me. Jin begged, please let me leave. I will do anything you say. Mina coldly replied, you still don't get it. Repentance is just words. Enraged, Joan grabbed a stone and attacked her. Mina said, you are hopeless, and teleported him again. This time, much higher from the ground. Back at the school, Jihan was still on the phone. Call the others. We need to turn the drugs into cash. When he returned to the school terrace, Jun was nowhere to be found. Only Chan-hee lay motionless on the floor. Jihan said, wake up, you fool. Where is Joan? Suddenly, Joan fell from above, landing between Jihan and Chan-hee. Chan-hee screamed in shock and thought, could it be? That's when he saw Mina standing at a distance. She smiled faintly and teleported. Elsewhere, a woman held a photo of Jihan, Joan and Yura. She said, I guess I'll start with these three. Lee Soo-hyun, Lua's father, said coldly. They are the ones who appeared the most on Lua's Instagram. The woman, now revealed as Won Hari, asked, didn't the chairman already take care of them? Lee Soo-hyun replied, those three aren't the culprit. A student at school suddenly ended up 50 kilometers away in the ocean. There's no way high school kids could do that. He continued, I may be her father, but I know nothing about Lua, not even the most basic things. Those three know the most about her. Won Hari thought to herself, a senior turned revenant for his daughter. I know this is wrong, but this is my chance to fill the cracks in his wounded heart. I will make sure to fill them completely. They both returned to the school, where the police and an ambulance had already arrived. Lee Soo-hyun asked a student, did something happen at the school? It was Mina, she calmly replied. There was an accident. Someone fell and died. He didn't know that he was talking to his daughter's killer. Lee Soo-hyun, Lua's father, watched Mina as she walked away. His eyes remained fixed on her. Won Hari asked, what's wrong? Why are you staring at her like that? Lee Soo-hyun replied, it's nothing. It's just that Lua was around this kid's age. At the principal's office, the principal asked, so you are from the Illy Group's secretary office, right? Won Hari answered, yes. The chairman instructed me to confirm a few things. I also requested a meeting with Lua's homeroom teacher. Both the principal and the homeroom teacher sat in front of her. The homeroom teacher introduced himself. Hello, I am An Jong-ho. The principal asked, who is the person standing behind you? Won Hari said, do I need to tell you? An Jong-ho replied, no need. Won Hari continued, I heard a student died here today. By any chance, is that student connected to any of these three? The principal and the teacher looked shocked. It was Hwang Jun-woo. He was found dead on the rooftop today. Lee Soo-hyun stepped forward and asked, you are Lua's homeroom teacher, right? Tell me everything about her school life. I want every detail. Meanwhile, at a warehouse, Yura was trying to call Jihan but couldn't reach him. Suddenly, Jihan rushed inside, scaring Yura. What's wrong? Why aren't you answering your phone? Where is Jun? Did something happen? Jihan panicked and said, he's dead. Yura asked how. He said, I don't know, he just fell from the sky. Yura was confused. Fell? I don't understand. I don't either, Jihan shouted. None of this makes sense. Then Jihan thought how June brother Sang would react to his brother death. Jihan ordered, back up all the goods first. We need to get out of here. Yura asked, all the drugs. I already spread the word to the others. Just do it, Jihan barked. Unless you want to die. Suddenly a phone call came. Jihan quickly opened a locker. There was a bag inside it. A voice said, high schooler these days are scary. A stash in a rental warehouse. It was revealed to be Seung, Jun's older brother. Jihan asked, how did you find this place? Yura replied, sorry Jihan, I told them so I wouldn't have to pay my debt. This angered Jahan, and he rushed to attack her but was pinned to the ground by Seong. How do you even think of hitting a woman, you little scammer? Seong scolded. Jihan pleaded, no boss. I just wanted to pay you back. Seong stepped on his head and said coldly, lies, every time you open your mouth. One of Song's men said, boss, we found the goods. It's way over 5 billion won. This country is seriously messed up. High school kids carrying around 5 billion won worth of drugs. At that moment, Seong received a call. He answered. It was a detective. About Junwoo's death. Seong stood motionless. Then he said to Chief Kim to pack everything up. Yes, sir, Kim replied. Seong continued. I need to stop by the hospital. Lock those guys up. Meanwhile, Yura said, wait. I don't know anything. I just found out about Junwoo's death. Seong asked coldly, how do you know that? Jihan thought, that stupid girl. Yura replied, because Jahan told me. That infuriated Song. He slammed Jihan's head into the ground again. Did you kill him? Is that why you were trying to run away? Seong asked. No, I never, Jahan stammered. Seong yelled, answer properly, you bastard, and beat him again. Bleeding from his nose and mouth, Jahan said, I think I know who killed him. Meanwhile, Chan-hee was washing his face at home when his grandmother called. Are you home? I heard someone from school died today. Are you okay? Nothing happened to you, right? Chan-hee replied calmly, yes, I'm fine. Somewhere else, Mina stood on top of a building, watching the city. She wore the same hoodie she used when killing the attacker. In a luxury car, the driver said, Chairman, we are almost at the school. The business lunch schedule will be delayed. Will that be all right? Lee Ji-han, Lua's grandmother, replied calmly, let them wait. It has been so long since I accompanied my lovely granddaughter on her way to school. Beside her, Lua sat quietly. At that same moment, some students were crossing the road, and among them was Mina. Lee Ji-han asked, are you still upset? Lua replied, I don't know. Suddenly you told me to close down the business I was doing with my friends. What was that about? Her grandmother said, business. Playing with coins and hanging around junkies doesn't sound like business. Lua smiled and said, it was fun. Lee Ji-han continued, dangling a few bucks in front of people and having them follow you around like puppies. It is not business. That's why you need to learn more. There are things in the world that cannot be moved by money or profit. There is madness far beyond that. Sometimes, I see your mother's eyes in you. The night your mother left me, eyes filled not by love, but by madness. Hearing this, Lua hugged her grandmother tightly. I am having so much fun, thanks to you. I am different from my mother. I will never betray you, chairwoman. Back to present. The driver said. Chairwoman up ahead. Lee Soo-hyun was standing in front of car. Once inside the car, he asked the grandmother, were you aware of Lua's school life? She answered confidently, she is my one and only granddaughter. I did not neglect her. Lee Soo-hyun frowned and said, what she is involved in goes far beyond what an ordinary high school student would do. What the hell happened to that kid? He stared at her angrily. Do you think Lua was broken? Not even close. She had everything perfectly under control. For a 17-year-old, she had the talent to dominate everyone. Lee Soo-hyun reached out to grab her neck but stopped, asking in a low voice, what did you do to my daughter? What did you do to my child? The grandmother said firmly, she is my granddaughter, not your daughter. He calmed down. She added, I will provide you with all the support you need. Now go and do what you must. Find the one who killed Lua. At Chan-hee's home, he said goodbye to his grandmother. She asked, are you okay? He smiled, nothing is wrong. You'll catch a cold. Go inside and rest. You have cleaning duty tonight. Then he left for school. On the way, Mina called him from behind. How is the spot where you were hit? Chan-hee was startled. Why are you so surprised? Are you hiding something? He asked. How did you get behind me? She smiled. I used my power to walk you home yesterday. Don't you remember? Chan-hee's face paled as he remembered Jun-woo's death. He vomited. Mina calmly handed him a tissue. Are you okay? He replied bitterly. Jun-woo died yesterday, right? Yeah. Good riddance, she said. Mina smiled and said, with Lua Jun-woo gone, that crew is finished. No one will bother you anymore. He said, Mina, we can't keep killing people. She replied coldly, it's not like I meant to kill him. I gave him a chance. He took his own life. In the end, he got what he deserved. My dad was a cop. He died because of guys like him. She became like this because I wasn't there for her. How many people in this city hold grudges against my daughter? There is one of them who killed my daughter. Both Mina and Lee Soo-hyun said at the same time, their voices filled with resolve. Those scum, however many they are, I will kill them. At school, students were talking about recent events. The boy who died on the rooftop. Lua not coming to school. Jahan and Yura were absent too. I know I shouldn't say this, but it's good they're dead. It would be better if the rest of them disappeared too. School feels brighter now that they're gone. Meanwhile, Mina was watching the news on her phone. A reporter said, "This is public investigator Polycule. Right now I'm standing in front of the house where a criminal offender who shocked the nation 10 years ago." Chan-hee came from behind and asked, "Are you going there?" Mina replied coldly, "The victimized child died 2 years later from trauma." After the sentence, the offender received no further punishment. Chan-hee pleaded, "Mina, don't do this." But she ignored him and said, "This isn't fair." Chan-hee tried again. "You should stop." Mina challenged him, "Did I ask for your opinion? Who benefits the most from this anyway? Why can't others enjoy the same benefit? You think it's fine as long as you're the only one who gets away with it, right?" Their conversation grew louder. Chan-hee lowered his voice, "That's not what I meant. But if you keep doing this, something terrible will happen. You could get caught." Mina laughed and walked into a bathroom. Before he could follow, some girls blocked his way. "Are you trying to go into the girls' bathroom?" He apologized and ran away, but just then, Mina called his name and says, "That criminal offender just happened to be home." Students nearby were talking about a YouTube video. The criminal offender had died. Caught live on camera, the video showed him jumping from his house. Did he take his own life because he couldn't live with his conscience? Our Polycule channel has the full unedited video. Chan-hee asked, "Did you kill him just now?" Mina answered calmly, "I just came back from the bathroom." Elsewhere at the hospital, Lee Soo-han stood in front of Jun-woo's body. The doctor said, the cause of death was nerve damage from a cervical fracture. The fracture's shape doesn't match a typical fall. Lee Soo-hyun asked, "What does that mean?" The doctor explained, "He was found on a rooftop. There are no tall buildings nearby outside." A man asked, "So you're from the Illy group?" Won-huri replied, "Yes, from the secretary's office." The man added, "You must be connected to the princess issue, the beach incident." She remained cold, "I'm just a low-level employee." It turned out the man was a detective. He said to her, "That kid is the younger brother of the city's biggest gang boss and connected to Illy group's princess." Lua. Won-huri asked, "It sounds like you know a lot. Am I right, detective?" Before he could answer, a cop arrived. "Detective Cho, the victim's family is here." Seong Jun-woo's older brother arrived furious. The detective confirmed the identity. Lee Soo-hyun saw Seong crying. "Who is that?" he asked. Seong, the older brother of the dead boy. Seong turned to Lee Soo-hyun. "Who the hell are you? Why are you here standing next to my brother's body?" Lee Soo-hyun remained silent. Seong attacked him. The detective shouted, "Seong, calm down. You should properly mourn your brother." Seong broke into tears and left. The detective added, "If you're done here, leave. Remember the favor I did for you today." Lee Soo-hyun said, "Fine." In the elevator, he said, Seong didn't even ask why his brother died. She answered, "Should we assign someone to watch him?" He agreed, "Let's start with that guy." After school, Chan-hee said to Mina, "Listen to me for a second. This doesn't feel right." Mina asked, "What exactly are you worried about?" "That bastard should have not lived comfortably and died peacefully. Go preach that human rights crap to the victims." Chan-hee shouted, "No, you killed someone. How can you act like it's nothing? If you keep doing this, you'll become the same." Mina grabbed his shirt. "What do you mean? Am I a villain?" He said, "That's not what I meant." She smirked and said, "Do you want to see the villain you're talking about?" Before he could react, she teleported him high into the sky. "Chan-hee, you don't know anything about me." And Chan-hee began to fall. Chan-hee fell to the ground, but surprisingly, he wasn't dead. Mina looked at him and calmly said, "Relax, you didn't die. Get a grip." "I was scared the first time I teleported so high too." Chan-hee asked, "Where is this place?" Mina gestured around them. "Look around. We are standing on a cliff outside the city. After I got my ability, I started searching for my own views. It's a restricted climbing area, but I don't care." Chan-hee smiled in amazement. "It's completely different from the view at the observatory." Mina teased, "Seeing it through glass can't compare to this." Chan-hee said, "You must come here every day then." She replied, "As long as you keep it a secret, I'll bring you here from time to time." He chuckled but then said, "Still, who would believe such a story? Even if I told them, they'd just think I'm crazy." She smirked, "So you're just going to babble about it?" "No," he answered firmly. Then she raised her hand and said, "Hold my hand tightly." At the hospital, Song stood silently beside his brother Jen-woo's body. The detective said, "The autopsy results will be ready by tomorrow. Then the body will be handed over and funeral preparations should start." Song refused. "No funeral until I catch the bastard who killed my brother." The detective warned, "Don't say dangerous things in front of me." It hasn't even been ruled a murder yet. Seong ignored him, received a phone call, and stormed out. Then detective says to him that it could be an accident, which angered him. He grabbed the detective by the neck and says, "Pretend you don't care. That's what you do best, right? That's why you take bribes." He left with his men. Meanwhile, Lee Soo-hyun and Won Huri were investigating Seong. He's the CEO of Gold Credit Finance and head of Virus Coin Development, but also a thug, Won Huri explained. Lee Soo-hyun asked, why would someone like him get involved with Lua? Did she pick the wrong friend? Won Huri responded, it's not that simple. Seong's whole business depended on the Illy Group's support, but Lua ruined his plan. The strange thing is, only the liquidation rumors spread, and she didn't take any of it. At that moment, Lee Soo-hyun noticed Seong exiting the hospital. Follow him quietly. Mina teleported Chan-hee to an abandoned building in the mountains. This is my safe point. No one comes here, she said. On the walls were photos of various places Mina had visited. It's easier to memorize places this way, she explained. Chan-hee asked, can you teleport all the way to the US or Europe? Not yet, Mina replied. There's a limit to how many jumps I can do in a row. My record is reaching the West Coast in a single jump, but it completely drained me. Then she teleported behind him. He tried to leave the building but found there were no stairs, so he waited. Mina came back, offering him donuts. Even though I can visit famous spots instantly, eating here feels special. Do I still look like a monster to you? I still don't understand why I have this power. Saving you was my way of finding answers. It became my duty. Chan-hee warned murder isn't a duty. You'll get in serious trouble. Mina smirked. What are you worried about? That I'll get caught, he said. I can't just watch the one who saved me fall apart. Mina smiled and said I knew I was right to save you. She added, fine, if you're going that far I won't kill. Chan-hee's face lit up. But elsewhere Jahan was with thugs of Seong. He said, this is the place where Chan-hee lives. The thugs shouted, find him, or you will die. Then Jihan spotted Chan-hee and Mina walking across the street. There, that's him. Without hesitation, Thug ordered, get both of them into the car. Jihan approached Chan-hee and asked angrily, you killed Joan, didn't you? Chan-hee was shocked and speechless. Mina stepped forward, her voice cold. Hey, where did you get beat up, and why are you spreading nonsense like that? Jan shouted, Mina, you better step aside. The only reason Jun Woo is dead is because of you. I almost died that day. Chan-hee tried to defend himself. What are you talking about? I'm the one who almost died. Gihan snapped back. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have had to go to the rooftop. It's all your fault. Mina's expression hardened. I really can't listen to this. Hey trash, should I throw you away just like Lua? Before she could continue, one of the thugs used an electric taser on Chan-hee, knocking him unconscious, and took them to a remote area. Meanwhile, Seong, Jun-woo's older brother, arrived at the building where his men stood guard. The kids you mentioned are all up there, captured, his men reported. Seong commanded, make sure no one gets in or out. Mina slowly woke up, feeling a sharp pain in her head. She looked around through a blindfold and thought to herself, what is happening? My head feels like it's being crushed. Where am I? What happened to Chan-hee? Chan-hee was then thrown at Seong's feet. Seong sneered, I know my brother well. Joan may have been a fool, but he didn't die from a simple accident. Jihan said, he was the last one with Jun before he died. He killed him when he thought he would die from the beating. Mina shouted, no Jihan, you fool. I'm the one who killed him, but she couldn't say it aloud because her mouth was duct-taped. Seong grabbed Chan-hee and lifted him. When my brother died, you were there, weren't you? Chan-hee remained silent. Seong's fist connected with Chan-hee's gut. Mina thought desperately, I can't use my ability. I can't see through this blindfold. My head keeps ringing, please stop. Seong continued the brutal attack, yelling, do you take me for a fool? My brother died right in front of you and you know nothing about it. Suddenly, Seong removed Mina's blindfold. Her eyes opened to reveal Chan-hee badly beaten and broken. Seong asked Jihan, who is that? Gihan replied, she claims to know where Lua is. Mina whispered softly, sorry. Seong demanded again, sorry for what? Mina lowered her head. Back then, I should have killed them all on the rooftop. But I hesitated and now this happened. Seong lunged at Mina in anger, but at that moment, she teleported and overlapped through his body. The aftershock from the teleport threw both Seong and Mina in opposite directions. Everyone was stunned. Jihan turned toward Mina and saw that she was free. One of the thugs said, didn't you hear something explode upstairs just now? Footsteps followed. It was Lee Soo-hyun and Won Huri standing at the entrance. Lee Soo-hyun asked, is he inside? Lee Soo-hyun suddenly began beating the thugs violently. I know Song is here, I just came to talk, so just tell me. Which floor is he on? He demanded. One of the thugs sneered out of nowhere, who the hell even are you? Lee Soo-hyun growled, if you answer me you won't get hurt. Where is he? Won-hurry intervened calmly. Who's going to answer you when you talk like that? That's why I'll be the one to ask. She turned to the thugs. Everyone were just here to talk a little. But before she could say more, someone threw a knife at her. The knife connected. The attacker smirked. Where should I stick it this time? Suddenly, the knife flew back and killed one of the men standing behind him. That scared the crap out of me, Won-hurry muttered. All the thugs rushed toward Won-hurry, but she overpowered them effortlessly. Lee Soo-hyun said firmly, the question. Won-hurry nodded. Yes, I'm sorry, you have to ask it. Answer us properly. Don't embarrass me any more than you already have. At that moment, someone fell from the top floor, heading straight toward Won-hurry. Lee Soo-hyun quickly caught her. As he looked up, more of the thugs began falling from the upper floors. What's going on upstairs? He asked, bewildered. Meanwhile, Mina, exhausted, watched as the thugs hesitated to attack her. What's happening? Where did that kid disappear to, they wondered. She teleported behind them and pushed them down the stairs. Suddenly, her nose started bleeding. My head, it feels like it's going to explode. Did I overuse my power? I did over 20 teleportations in a row without a break before, so why now? Then she spotted Chan-hee. Are you okay? Can you stand? She asked. Seeing so much blood, Mina thought first, we need to get to a hospital. But which one? I've never been to one before. Just hold on tight. I'll teleport us and find one, she promised. But before she could act, Seong appeared and attacked her. You punk! What the hell did you do to me? He snarled. Mina struggled to move. My body won't respond. This is bad, I need to use my power. Song sneered, just answer one thing before you die. Was it true? Are you the one who killed my little brother? She said, Mr. Your little brother. His tears flowed faster than she expected. That only made him angrier, and he attacked again. But her body still felt paralyzed. Suddenly there was a loud cracking sound. Chan-hee, using his remaining strength, shielded her with his body. Run, he urged. Seeing him like that, Mina cried and teleported behind Seong. She dodged every attack by teleporting but was eventually hit and thrown away. Seong sneered. What was that just now? One of his men said. The other got hit the same way earlier, I don't even know what's happening. Another asked, Boss, what should we do with the bodies? Seong replied coldly, wait a second, that one isn't dead yet. If we melt her alive, it'll be a message to everyone. But before he could kill Mina, Lee Soo-hyun appeared from behind and kicked Song hard. Are you okay? He asked. Lee Soo-hyun carefully approached Mina, who was lying weakly on the ground. Can you get up? He asked, observing her closely. He seemed to recognize her and thought, why is she in this place? He told her not to move and promised to take her to the hospital. Seeing Mina in that fragile state, he remembered his own daughter. Suddenly, Seong got up and attacked Lee Soo-hyun from behind. But he quickly dodged and flipped Song over. Seeing you fall, I thought your neck snapped just now. You're tougher than I expected. It's been a while since I enjoyed breaking something, Lee Soo-hyun said calmly. Song, furious, asked, You are the guy who was snooping around the hospital earlier. Let me ask one thing. Were you involved in my little brother's death? Without warning, Seong attacked again and a brutal fight began. He avoided any fatal blows, still a thug at heart, he said. When Song tried to land a powerful punch, Lee Soo-hyun countered. Hitting a girl with that much force, is that what makes you a thug? Lee Soo-hyun kept punching and kicking Song until he was stunned. As Song was falling, he taunted. What's wrong? First time getting hit. Song quickly regained his strength and attacked again, but Lee Soo-hyun grabbed his arm and broke it. Song screamed in pain. Quit whining, Lee Soo-hyun said coldly. Then he made sure Song was unconscious. Don't die yet, I have a lot of questions to ask you. Won-hurry finally arrived. I contacted that company. They'll handle the aftermath, Lee Soo-hyun told her. Call for the medical staff. We have multiple critical patients. He then turned to Mina. What's your name? Mina, she whispered. I'm a police officer. I'll get you to the hospital right away, he said. At the word police, Mina remembered her own father. Dad, she said, her voice trembling. Lee Soo-hyun looked at her and said, That's right, Daddy will save you. At the hospital, Mina slowly regained consciousness. Her mother stood by, crying. What happened to me? Mina asked. Her mother gently said, You don't remember? You were saved from kidnappers by the detective. Just then Lee Soo-hyun walked in and said, No, I just found Miss Mina after she fainted. Lee Soo-hyun said, You don't have to worry about the kidnappers now, they have been arrested. But Mina thought to herself, arrested? No one died, that can't be. Then Lee Soo-han asked again, "Miss Mina, I know it's hard after what you've been through, but I have questions for you." Mina interrupted, "Wait. What about Chan-hee? I need to know what happened to him." In the ICU, Chan-hee lay badly injured. Lee Soo-hyun said he's in a coma. "We don't know when, or if, he'll wake up." Mina blamed herself. "It's my fault. If only I had done things differently. If only they had all died, none of this would have happened." At that moment, Chan-hee's grandmother approached Lee Soo-hyun, crying, "Detective, did you catch the one who did this to him? Why would they do this? What did that poor child ever do wrong?" Hearing that, Mina couldn't breathe and collapsed. Later, a bit stronger, Lee Soo-han thought to himself, "She's not in a condition to answer now." He stood to leave, but Mina's mother offered him a cup of coffee. Mina asked quietly, "Detective, the one who hurt Chan-hee, what happened to them? Were they arrested?" That night, Song was tied to a chair. Lee Soo-hyun stood in front of him and said, "If you cooperate, you might leave alive." Song shouted, "You've got the wrong person. I'll kill all of you and track down your family." Won-hee stabbed him in the back and said, "How about some chiropractic therapy?" Lee Soo-hyun asked, "Did you kill Lee Luo?" Seong replied, "No, she managed my coins. I don't know where she is." Song added, "Jahan told me that girl with glasses knows where Luo is." Suddenly, Song started bleeding and gasping. Lee Soo-hyun asked, "When did you get this wound?" Song collapsed and died, leaving the mystery unresolved. Back in present, Lee Soo-hyun looked at her with a serious expression. "The culprit is dead. You don't need to be afraid of anything. Just so you know, death is simply the punishment they deserve." Mina remembered the day she killed her dog. Lee Soo-hyun continued, "You don't have to worry about anything. It's my job to deliver justice." Mina softly thanked him. Outside, Won-hee asked, "What will you do now?" Lee Soo-hyun said, "Something bigger is going on. But now isn't the right time to ask." She asked again, "What about Song? All his gang members at the scene are dead too." Lee Soo-hyun said calmly, "It's not over yet. There may still be some loose ends." Back in ICU, Mina thought about Jihan and how he treated them. She whispered to Chan-hee, "There are still ones who deserve punishment. This time I absolutely won't make a mistake." Then she teleported. In the morgue, Lee Ji-hyun demanded an explanation. "Can a corpse speak?" she said coldly. Lee Soo-han replied, "I didn't file the report." She cut him off. "Just reporting is enough. How convenient." "Lee Soo-han, has your mind gone mad? Acting like a beast, killing him like that. Now we can't learn anything from him. Is that how you handle your work?" "Chairman Lee Ji-han, are you saying it was Mr. Lee's mistake in how he handled things?" At that moment, the man's chest suddenly burst open. Lee Soo-hyun quickly stepped in. "I'm sorry. The mistake is mine." Lee Ji-hyun smirked. "At least you admit your mistake quickly, but responsibility still remains." She turned to leave, warning, "I will overlook this just once, but if such a mistake happens again, we will simply discard you." Before departing, she added, "Also, investigate those kids kidnapped by Song. What happened to them?" Lee Soo-han answered, "Yes, Chan-hee is in a coma, and Mina is due to be discharged soon." Lee Ji-han's tone hardened. "Investigate them thoroughly, especially what they know about Luo. If they know too much, make sure they are silenced forever. Do you understand?" Lee Soo-han replied, "Chairman Lee Ji-hyun, those children might be the victims of Luo." She scoffed, "Is that so? All the more reason to silence them. Parents always protect their child after all." At night, Mina was wide awake. She teleported in her abandoned building. She noticed the box of donuts on the ground and remembered Chan-hee. She opened her phone and saw a photo of Jihan and June. The memory of being kidnapped flashed through her mind. "I should have killed him on the spot, but I missed my chance," Mina thought. "He knows I'm involved in Luo's death. He witnessed my ability. He is the one who pushed Chan-hee to this state. I must find him somewhere." Meanwhile, Lee Soo-hyun said, "Jihan is the top priority. We can't just wait for Song's autopsy." Won-hee asked, "What about Mina?" "She knows something about Luo." Lee Soo-hyun answered, "That's what Jihan told Song. He was obsessed with finding his brother's killer, but who gave him that information? Perhaps even Song was manipulated by Jihan." Lee Soo-hyun thought hard about who might have caused Joan's death. He recalled the people from the top and asked Won-hee, "What was the cause of Luo's death again?" "The autopsy report said drowning," she answered. Lee Soo-hyun commanded, "Turn the car around." She asked, "What about Jihan?" "There's something I need to check first. I need to see Luo in the hospital." The doctor replied, "You can't do that." The chairman ordered it strictly. One of the bodyguards said, "Lee Soo-hyun, that's enough," and tried to stop him. But Lee Soo-hyun overpowered the bodyguard, pinning him down. Others rushed to attack, but he threw the bodyguard at them and stared at the doctor. "I came to see my daughter. Don't get in my way." In the morgue, Lee Soo-hyun examined Lua's body carefully. Won-hurry asked, "What are you looking for?" Lee Soo-hyun said, "Here are faint bruises. Not just one place, at least 2 more on her back, and different in color than livor mortis." He continued, "She must have fallen from a great height. Probably the same person who killed Jun also killed Lua." Mina visited her father. She said, "I'm here. It's my first time coming without Mom, isn't it? Today I wanted to share a secret with you, Dad. I killed someone. Not just one, but a lot of them. I am a police officer's daughter. If you were alive, you would be furious, just like back then when I killed Dooley. But if people like them don't get punished, they will never change. Those people killed you, and they did that to Chan-hee. They received their punishment. That's why I was given this power. Please watch over me, Dad." Then she teleported away. Later, food was delivered for 2 people. As the delivery man left, the door opened and Yura took the food inside. Jahan was already there. Shut the door fast. "Mina might come," Gihan said. Yura closed the door. "This doesn't make sense. Why is there no news about so many people being murdered?" Gahan looked frightened. That night, Mina was killing them one by one, smiling. "I was so scared." When Yura handed him his food, Gahan jumped back. "You scared me." Yura snapped. "Why the hell are you freaking out at me? We got screwed trying to frame Mina and Chan-hee. And whose fault is that?" Gahan started stomping on her. "If you hadn't sold me out from the start, if you hadn't met Lua, none of this would happened." Yura grabbed his leg and pushed him away. "How is that my fault? Don't you remember becoming rich thanks to me and Lua?" "I'll kill you," Jihan yelled. "Go ahead and try," Yura replied coldly. After a while, both of them sat down. Jihan said, "Killing you won't solve the problem. We need someone, a group that can protect us." Yura asked, "Is there someone?" He replied, "We can't even go to the police." "Yeah," she said, "there's an organization stronger than the police." He added, "Someone who wants Mina more than anyone else." At Ili head office, Lee Ji-han met with Lee Soo-han. He asked, "You summoned me." She questioned him. "I heard you assaulted my bodyguards and examined Luo's body. Is that true? It looks like you still don't understand the situation. You're not her father or anything else. You're just a mercenary hired by the Ili group. The reason you can wander in and out of the police station and use our resources is all thanks to me. Without my backing, you'd just be an illegal immigrant criminal." Lee Soo-hyun admitted, "That's right, I am a criminal. A murderer. Should someone like me really be let inside your office? What if something happened to you?" Her eyes narrowed. "Are you threatening me?" He said calmly. "You told me yourself to fulfill my duty as a parent, so please keep your own words as well. I promise I will bring you the head of the person who killed Lua." Suddenly, Won-hurry burst in. "It's urgent. Please listen to this." On the phone, Won-hurry said, "Repeat what you just said clearly this time." The caller replied, "Yes. I am Lua's close friend, and I know who killed her." Lee Soo-hyun was shocked. Meanwhile, on top of a building, Mina stood staring at a social media post about Yura. The post showed a drink, and through the window, the building's interior was visible, curtains not covering the room fully. Mina whispered, "I found them." Mina was standing near the pawn shop from the photo Yura had shared on Instagram. Based on the camera angle and the color of the curtains, she guessed that Yura was hiding in Unit 801. Mina thought she could catch Yura, but she also needed to figure out where Jahan was. If she went inside without knowing the layout and ran into someone, it would be a mess. She checked the layout of the building on a real estate site, but the photos overlapped with people's furniture. Then Mina noticed several large vans in front of the building. Lee Soo-hyun and Won-hurry were going inside. Mina wondered if Yura had reported this to the police or if Jahan was inside. If they fell into the hands of the police, it would be troublesome. She decided she had no choice but to force her way in. Inside the elevator, Won-hurry told Lee Soo-hyun that the building was fully surrounded. He replied that Yura had made the call, but Jihan might be with her. He ordered that no matter who was inside, they should secure them all. When the elevator doors opened, the group stepped out, but behind them Mina appeared and then vanished. In her room, Yura was scared. Then there was a knock at the door. She saw the Ili group and asked if they came because of the call. Won-hurry said yes and asked if they could have a little chat. Behind her was an axe and men hiding. Won-hurry asked Yura to open the door. Yura hesitated and opened the door slightly. From the shadows at the end of the hallway, she saw Mina looking at her. Yura screamed and ran back inside. Won-hurry broke down the door, but Mina had already teleported into the room. She grabbed Yura and teleported away. When the group entered the room, Yura was gone. Wonhari said she had just been in front of the door a moment ago. Lee Soo-hyun wondered if Yura had met the same fate as Lua and Joan. Mina teleported Yura to an abandoned building. The fall shattered Yura's legs. Mina called her a crybaby and told her to look her in the eyes. Yura begged for her life, saying she had done nothing to Mina. Mina touched Yura's chin and said that wasn't the case with Chan-hee. Yura insisted she didn't know what had happened to him and begged for mercy. Mina told her that if she took her to Jihan, she would let her leave. Back at Yura's room, Lee Soo-hyun looked out the window, thinking Yura might be downstairs, but no one was there. Wonhari said Yura wasn't in the apartment either. Lee Soo-hyun ordered all units to search the rooftops of nearby buildings. He told Wonhari that the suspect was the same person who killed Lua. If Yura fell into their hands, she could end up dead too. Wonhari asked how someone could disappear with a person so quickly unless they were superhuman. Lee Soo-hyun said it didn't matter. Securing Yura was the top priority. On the rooftop, agents checked both sides while Lee Soo-hyun commanded teams B and C to search the buildings beside them. In one of the buildings, Jahan was watching through a window. He thought to himself that the El Hay group was using Yura as a shield. Then his doorbell rang. When he checked, it was Yura, shaken and crying. She begged him to open the door. Jihan asked why she was there. But behind her was Mina. She greeted him. Seeing her, Jahan slammed the door shut. Mina teleported inside and told him it was time to pay for his sins. Jahan tried to run, but Mina teleported in front of him. Startled, he fell on Yura. Then Yura pleaded for her life, saying she had only filmed something on her phone. Jihan shouted at her to shut up. Mina asked if that was really all he had to say. She asked if he had nothing to say to Chan-hee. Jihan told her not to come closer. He said the men in black suits outside were from the Illy group, and that he had called them there. Mina was surprised. She thought to herself, why would he work for that group? Is he not a detective? Jahan said the Ilhy group wouldn't let her go and that she was finished. Mina told him he was misunderstanding something. She didn't care if he exposed who she really was. She told him to go ahead and tip off the news about a teleporting killer. Jihan attacked her with a taser gun. Yura tried to hit her with a chair from behind, but Mina teleported, and the taser hit Yura instead. Yura fell unconscious. Mina laughed, saying they were funny and should form a comedy duo. Jihan asked what gave her the right to decide who gets punished. Mina asked if he knew what had happened to Chan-hee. He said he didn't. She teleported a baton into his head, knocking him down. The sound of the impact was heard by Lee Soo-hyun. He told Wonhari it sounded like gunfire from the 4 o'clock direction, near the orange officetal. Wonhari used the intercom to alert the agents. Jihan was confused. Mina asked why he had treated Chan-hee the way he did. He pleaded with her to stop. She said it didn't matter anymore. Even if she knew the reason, Chan-hee wouldn't wake up. Mina looked out the window and saw men barging into the building. She thought this was even better than the police. She told Jihan not to be scared, that Chan-hee hadn't died so he wouldn't die either. Lee Soo-hyun and Wonhari were near the building when suddenly Yura fell from the sky. Looking up, they saw Jahan standing above them. Lee Soo-hyun shouted his name. Then Jahan teleported. Lee Soo-hyun was shocked and puzzled. Jahan was gone.
Lee Soo-hyun and Wonhari rushed to the rooftop, but it was empty. Jahan had vanished. Soo-hyun clenched his fists. That bastard. It's just like when Yura disappeared. Why lure us here only to kill her in front of us? Wonhari checked in with her teams. None had seen anyone leave the building. She ordered them to regroup and search again, but Soo-hyun stopped her. It's no use. You saw his powers. He's already gone. His anger echoed across the rooftop. Far away, Jahan stumbled into a dark, abandoned mine. Where am I? He muttered, fear in his voice. Mina appeared before him. Coward. After what you did to Chan-hee, are you scared to die? He begged for his life, swearing he would do anything. Mina's expression was cold. Begged Chan-hee for forgiveness, not me. You want to live? Give me your password. Desperate, Jihan gave it up, thinking his money was safe.
Then he asked, now would you let me out?
But Mina only smirked. What are you talking about, going out? This place was prepared just for you. A collapsed shaft, hidden from the world. She reminded him of Yura's death. You killed her in front of the Ilhy group members, remember? Jihan froze, realizing Mina had twisted the truth. You planned this from the start, he whispered in terror. See you again, Jihan. She vanished, leaving him bleeding and screaming in the dark. Mina reappeared in the ICU beside Chan-hee. I did well, right? Are you angry with me? I killed again. I can't stop now. This is only the beginning. I'll tear out every root of their corruption. If you want to stop me, you'll have to wake up. The next day at school, rumors spread quickly. Students whispered about Yura's fall and Jihan's disappearance. No one knew who was behind it. Fear spread through the halls. Some believed Lua had also been taken out by the same mysterious hand. After school, Mina noticed a man filming near the gate. The guard tried to stop him, but he argued back. This is outside school grounds. I have every right to cover this. Coverage. Mina thought, he doesn't look like a real journalist. Who is he? The man turned his camera on her. So you're the infamous girl with psychic powers. Your identity is a mystery, but current affairs and cover is on the case. Tell me, do you believe saving that boy was the right thing? After all, the attacker died. Mina's blood ran cold. How does he know about me? Suddenly, a hand snatched the phone. It was Lee Soo-han. He looked at her with piercing eyes. Long time no see, Mina. Mina froze the moment her eyes landed on Lee Soo-han. Of all the people she wished never to see again, he is at the top. She thought to herself that she needed to find a way out of this situation quickly. The man who had been recording videos earlier shouted at Lee. He demanded to know who he was, and what gave him the right to take someone else's phone. He yelled for him to give it back, or he would call the police. Lee Soo-hyun stepped forward. In an instant, he grabbed the man's hand and snapped his finger. The man screamed in agony. Lee told him to be grateful it was only a finger, and warned him to leave before he was handed over for illegal filming. The man, clutching his broken finger, shouted back that he was the one who had been assaulted. He accused Lee of stealing his property, but Lee countered by asking why he had been filming so hard. He pointed out how the man only targeted girls and deliberately recorded their skirts. Hearing this, the students around them grew furious. One Haris spoke coldly, calling him a waste of space in society. The man panicked, trying to defend himself by saying he was only collecting evidence to find a psychic. But the crowd had already turned against him. They raised their phones, snapping photos of his face. Desperate, the man pulled a mask over his face and ran, chased by the angry crowd. Watching it unfold, Mina realized it wasn't just her he had targeted. He had been preying on every girl at the school. Lee turned to her and said that you don't look like someone who is frightened. Mina looked at him in silence as he asked if they could talk. Later, at a cafe, Mina thanked him for the meal. She also thanked him for saving her from the stalker. Lee brushed it off, saying it was nothing. He was a detective, it was his job. But inside, Mina thought to herself, liar. That night, she had seen him working with the elite group. Was he really a detective, or was he corrupt? No matter what, she decided to play along. She needed to know how much the police and the group were connected. Mina casually asked if Lee and Won-Hari were dating. Before Lee could answer, Won-Hari laughed excitedly and said they actually matched quite well, don't we? Mina replied that Won-Hari looked too young. Won-Hari teased back that Mina looked like she could be a great actress, though she was clumsy when she tried too hard. Their eyes met in silence. Then Mina suddenly lowered her spoon and began to cry. Through tears, she admitted that she still couldn't remember everything from that day. She explained how she was kidnapped because of Jihan, how she had to watch Chan-hee get beaten nearly to death, and how she herself was struck in the head. Everything had blurred, and then she lost consciousness in a flash of light. She asked if they were trying to frame her and Chan-hee for the incident. Lee asked, you mean Joan's death? Mina admitted she never understood why Jahan would do such a thing. How could he kill someone like Jun? Lee cut her off, saying it was by throwing him off the building, wasn't it? Mina nodded slowly. Lee apologized for making her recall something so painful, but explained they needed her testimony. He revealed that Jahan was a key witness, and the police were searching for him. Did you know anything? Mina asked if he suspected Jahan of the murder. Lee replied they couldn't be sure until they spoke with him. Overwhelmed, Mina stood and excused herself, saying she needed to wash her face.
Won-Hari quietly observed her in the bathroom.
At the table, Lee thought to himself. For the second time, Mina overlapped in his mind with Lua. Something about her kept pulling him back to that memory. Outside, Lee handed her his card. He told her the case was still under investigation, and he might need to meet her again. She accepted and told him to contact her anytime. Won-huri softened, apologizing for being harsh earlier. She explained detectives were built to be suspicious. Then Mina's mother arrived in a rush. Lee Soo-hyun said he had notified her in advance because minors could not be questioned without a guardian. He reminded Mina that if she remembered anything more about that day, she should contact him immediately. Mina agreed and left with her mother. Lee turned to Won-huri and asked for her impression. Won-huri said if Mina was only acting, then the future of Korean cinema looked bright. At that moment, Detective Cho sent a message to Lee. They had permission to review the evidence from the stabbing incident at the PC cafe. Lee told Huri that all they needed now was the knife used that day. With the blood on the blade
and Mina's spoon in his hand,
they could run DNA tests and cross-check everyone involved. Mina watched a looped interview at home, two men debating the impossible. Someone had fallen from the sky, subdued a knife attacker outside a PC cafe, and vanished. Teleportation belonged in science fiction, they argued. Yet the footage existed, and the police had nothing official to say. Viewers argued it was fake, or an AI trick. Others begged the authorities to find that person. Mina had acted rashly to save Chan-hee, and, in doing so, exposed the one thing she could not afford to show. Now a petty, desperate content creator had filmed the scene for clicks. He knew her name. That frightened her more than any police search. Anger flared, and she forced it down. Impulse had led to mistakes before. From now on she would be careful. Hermon breezed in with news Uncle Hong-yeon was coming tonight. He arrived shortly after.
It was Detective Cho.
He was embarrassed for being late. Over dinner the conversation turned to the case. Lee Soo-hyun's name came up. Mina had already met him. Detective Cho laughed, surprised, and admitted he knew Lee Soo-hyun. He praised Lee's passion. Mina felt there was still something she could not trust about him. Lee had been in the field the night she'd been kidnapped, linked in some way to Ilhi group movements. Mina kept that thought to herself. Detective Cho explained the criminal ring that trafficked and terrorized had a leader who was now dead. The gang's collapse closed some doors but opened others. Mina's mother tried to steer the table away from the old wound. But Mina said the man who stabbed father had served only 13 years. Her mother got angry and said to not talk about that man. The family could not keep living in that shadow. Mina promised she would stop dwelling on it. Before he left, Detective Cho mentioned the new assignment
he had taken, the one with stabbing outside the PC cafe.
He was in charge now, and it was a headache. Mina frowned. Teleportation rumors still circulated online, despite the story dropping out of major outlets. Cho said to them not to buy into fantasies. Outside, Detective Cho testing his own instincts. He wasn't used to the uneasy feeling that Mina evoked. He told himself he was imagining things. The next day at the police station the pieces began to move. Detective Cho met Lee Soo-hyun
and Won-huri in the evidence room. Cho unsealed a box which contained the knife.
It was the single piece everyone wanted, the blade with traces of blood that could finally be DNA tested. Cho teased Lee about enjoying his life as police, and Lee said, "You don't look pleased." Then Cho grabbed Lee by neck and said, "Why did you approach Mina?" Lee said, "Wait, you know Mina." Then everything changed. Something had fallen onto the compound. A uniformed man burst into the evidence room, exclaiming that someone had just fallen from the sky onto a police car parked in the lot. Outside, stunned officers framed the scene. Someone sat unmoving on the hood of a patrol car, as if appearing from nowhere. A hush cut across the yard, then a single voice, calm, almost amused, said, "Hello." The figure on the police car was Mina. The officers shouted in shock, asking who she was and when she appeared. They quickly surrounded her and ordered her to get down on the ground. One of them said she was under arrest. But before they could reach her, Mina teleported inside the building. Detective Cho heard through the walkie-talkie that someone had fallen at the police station and that the suspect had appeared and disappeared. He thought to himself that it was the same as the PC cafe incident and the Joan case. Suddenly Mina teleported right in front of him and said hello. Hearing her voice he was confused, but before he could react she teleported again. She reappeared at her destination point where a group of cops were waiting. They fired their tasers, but she avoided them and teleported the officers onto the rooftop of a nearby building. Then she broke into the evidence room, where Won-huri was ready to attack her. But the one who came inside first was not Mina, it was Detective Cho. Won-huri asked what he was doing there. He replied that he rushed back because of the explosion. He reminded her that she was the one who said the suspect would target this place and warned her that she had almost killed a cop just now. Then Mina teleported into the room. Wanari was stunned and said she could hardly believe it even after seeing it with her own eyes. Detective Chu agreed, calling it something beyond human. Mina thought to herself that everything was going as expected. Now she just needed to escape. But then she sensed something and Lee Soo-hyun attacked. She teleported away. Lee gave an order and Wanhari threw her axe at Mina, but she vanished again. Wanhari asked how they were supposed to catch someone like that. Lee looked at her and said, "So we finally meet. You came for this, didn't you?" He showed her the knife. He taunted her, asking why she was hesitating. He challenged her to come and take it. Mina replied that they could not catch her. Lee studied her and thought the figure at the PC cafe looked smaller, but this body was bigger. He wondered if her strange ability was faster than his own and told her to come find out. Mina already had a plan. She had placed ropes around the room and in one swift move overlapped the rope into them, and it exploded. In that moment she touched the knife and teleported it into her grasp. "Thank you. I'll take the evidence," she said before vanishing again. Lee clenched his teeth, realizing he had lost her. Later on the news, the reporter revealed that the person who fell at the police station that afternoon was identified as Mr. Oh, an executive of Bukjin Construction. He was the same man who had killed a delivery driver while drunk driving, yet escaped punishment with the help of Ilei's powerful lawyers. Elsewhere, Mina removed her disguise. She had worn a vest to make her body look larger. Now, dressed normally, she quietly drank coffee while planning her next move.
Mina's escape left its marks. Lee Soo-hyun and Wanhari both suffered odd rope wounds where Mina's teleportation traps had overlapped with their bodies. Wanhari commented the injury felt strange sharp pain from the rope, but surprisingly little surface damage. Lee remembered a similar but larger wound on June. He guessed this was one of Mina's abilities. Back at the police station, a tense meeting was already underway. Officers discussed the hit-and-run case. The victim, who'd been killed by a drunk driver, had a note pinned to his back that read, "This is punishment." A superior scolded Detective Cho over the case report evidence was missing. The knife and other items were stolen, and the suspect's method remained unknown. Cho protested that they could not report what they didn't know, but the higher-up demanded action. "We have CCTV. Witnesses, even a voice," he said. "Send everything you have. We must apprehend him." A Wanhari was at a computer running audio analysis. She told Lee the voice from the police station incident matched Jihan, the same voice clipped in Yura's Instagram videos. Lee didn't fully focus, his daughter was on his mind. Harry pressed. If the voice was Jihan's, then he could be the culprit. Lee protested, why would Jihan kill his friends when he profited from Lua? Hari replayed the audio side by side and said, "Look, it's an exact match." At home, Mina said thanks to Jehan for leaving behind so many voice clips. She had used those many small voice samples, fed them into AI, and generated longer audio in Jihan's voice. She said, "From now on you'll speak for me." She planned to use his voice as a broadcast to punish those the law let go, to comfort victims. Now she chose her next target carefully, someone who would never be punished. On the news, anger flared. Chairman Kim of the chemical company, behind a deadly exposure case, had been acquitted again. Families of sickened workers protested outside the company headquarters. "How many workers must bleed before you stop?" one grieving family shouted. The public accused the law of shielding the wealthy. That same day at the Ilhi Group building, chairwoman Lee Ji-han hosted a party. Chow Woo-hyuk, of Bukain Group, appeared to pay respects. He claimed he represented a subsidiary and offered congratulatory remarks. Conversation moved on. Then Lee Soo-hyun entered, and Lee Ji-han introduced Chow Woo-hyuk as Lua fiancé, which shocked Lee. Wanhari froze Lua engaged in high school. The revelation landed awkwardly in the room. Meanwhile, reporters grilled Chairman Kim about the verdict. He offered a bland, defensive statement about respecting the law and prioritizing safety. Then he slipped into his car and dismissed the protesters as ignorant fools. That was when Mina was sitting beside him. She confronted him coldly. "Kim Joo-yeon, chairman of Yugo Chemical Group, it's time for your punishment." When Chairman Kim opened his eyes, he found himself tied up inside an abandoned factory. He quickly remembered what had happened. He was kidnapped. But why would someone dare to kidnap him? Mina appeared and said, "You are awake, Chairman Kim." He shouted, "Who are you? Who sent you? Do you have any idea who I am?" Mina replied, "Chairman Kim of Yugo Chemical Group. Of course I know you. You are famous. Do you want to know why you are here? Under your company, 5 deaths happened 3 years ago. 3 deaths 2 years ago, and 2 deaths just last year. Safety manuals were ignored. Deaths repeated. Is your factory a workplace or a slaughterhouse? You preach safety, yet you do nothing. Chairman Kim growled. Running a big business means there is a lot to worry about. You must be from one of the families. But this is not the right way to get revenge. Was the compensation not enough? Is this about money? The court already ruled the company had no responsibility. Yet we still paid an extra 100 million per person out of goodwill. They staged illegal protests, a daily racket. Amina said coldly. 10 billion in total. That is not even half the cost of the apartment you bought for your mistress. Shocked, he asked. How do you know that? She stepped closer. Do you really think I want money? No, I want you to atone. Genuinely, she opened a gas can. Hydrogen sulfide. Did you not properly dispose of hazardous materials from your shut-down factory? This is just 4 laters. In 30 minutes, this room will be filled. Chairman Kim panicked. Wait, are you going to kill me like this? Mina answered. Before we talk about your deeds, you should feel it for yourself. Feel what your workers felt as they collapsed in your factory. He cursed and struggled. Mina dropped a book in front of him. Read this. It contains the records of the victims who died in your factory. Your path to survival lies inside. Show people that you can change. And then she vanished, leaving him in the gas-filled room, fighting for his breath. Elsewhere, Lee Soo-hun met with Chairwoman Lee Ji-hun. He reported about the suspect with supernatural powers. The chairwoman asked, Lee, the report you gave me. Are you seriously saying this man has superpowers? Was that metaphorical, or have you lost your mind? Lee replied, I wish there was a better word. Please look at this CCTV footage from the evidence room. In the video, the man clearly teleported. Chairwoman Lee was stunned. Won-huri added, it's not just us. Many officers at the station witnessed this ability. We can only call it supernatural. The chairwoman leaned forward. So is this the one who killed my granddaughter? You found out who he is. Lee said. His name is Jihan. He is the most likely suspect. At the time of Yura's death, he vanished from the scene using his powers. The voice recording at the police station matches him. DNA from several places he teleported also points to him. The chairwoman's voice hardened. Then why have you come empty-handed? Where is Jihan? Lee replied. Don't you feel something strange? It's as if he wants us to follow him. Like he is deliberately baiting us. There is a sense of provocation. The chairwoman said coldly. Don't overthink. If you are a hound, then bite. If he throws bait, the one who cast it will show himself. Lee explained. We have taken necessary steps. We secured the whereabouts of Jihan's family. We are tracking his movements through multiple channels. His hidden cryptocurrency assets are being analyzed with digital forensics. Once we strip his life down to nothing, something will surely emerge. As Lee left her office, he turned to Won-huri. Question everything you can out of Jihan's parents. Everything they know, or don't know. She asked, what about you? Just then, his phone rang. Lee answered. The caller said, Good afternoon. This is Mina's mother. About what we discussed earlier, I was wondering what time might be convenient for you. I really want to treat you to a meal. Wushi added. Mina has been waiting to see the detective too. At that moment, Mina walked into her home, and her mother smiled. She just came in. Lee Soo-hyun replied yes, at 7 p.m. works for me. Please send the address. I will meet you there. He hung up. Won-huri asked, Did you just agree to meet Mina's mother? Meanwhile, back at the abandoned factory, Chairman Kim was still struggling to breathe. His body weakened. He collapsed, his legs giving way. And at Mina's home, she froze in surprise when her mother told her, Detective Lee is coming tomorrow. At the restaurant, Mina thanked Lee Soo-hun for the meal. She smiled and said, Thank you. I really appreciate it, Detective. He looked at her curiously. Appreciate it for what? She explained, Thanks to you, I get to eat like this. My mom has been on a diet lately, so she only cooks chicken breast. Lee chuckled. You have to eat well when you're growing. Watching this small family moment, he found himself lost in thought. I'm daydreaming again, he thought to himself. At the factory, Chairman Kim was struggling with the ropes. Mistake. Just a little more and I'll be free. I have to escape before she comes back. He didn't realize that a hidden phone was recording everything. Back at the restaurant, Mina noticed him staring off. What are you thinking about so deeply, Detective? Lee lowered his eyes. I never lived with my family. I was the worst father to my daughter. Amina's mother said gently, I don't know the details, but maybe your family understands. Mina's father was also a police officer, you know. Amina spoke softly. For me, if my father had just been there beside me, I would have been so happy. Lee nodded slowly. I know very well what happened to your father. You must have gone through a lot. Her mother sighed. We endured. Amina stood up. I'll step out for a moment. She left the table. Her mother looked at Leith. Even now, whenever she thinks of her father, she still feels the pain. Meanwhile, at the factory, Chairman Kim finally freed himself. He gasped, "That rat. I'll find you and tear you into pieces for leaving me here." Then he noticed the book Mina had left behind. He picked it up and remembered her words. "This is the list of victims who died in your factory. The way out is in here." Mina, watching through the hidden phone, waited for him to read. But instead he muttered, "A way out? Victims? What nonsense. Who are they to tell me to repent? I'm innocent. What should I be repenting for?" Her face fell in disappointment. Suddenly, Mina heard a voice behind her. "How about we have a little chat?" It was Lee Soo-han. She turned to him and asked, "Is this about Gahan?" Lee asked, "You were in the same class with Lua, weren't you? Do you know where she is?" Mina shook her head. "I'm not sure. She just stopped showing up one day." "Did something happen to her?" he said quietly. "It hasn't been announced to the press yet, so I'd appreciate it if you keep this secret. The truth is Lua of the Ili group went missing." Mina acted shocked. He continued, "We are investigating Jihan Song. They're all connected to Lua's disappearance, but Jihan left a message. He said you know where Lua is." Amina frowned. What Jihan meant was probably that day. "That day?" Lee pressed. She sighed. "It's not a pleasant story." She told him how she and Chun-hee were bullied by Lua. Hearing this, Lee felt guilt. Mina went on, "After that, Lua told us both to stay after school. She said she would take us somewhere nice. But I knew she didn't mean just hanging out. I didn't stay, because I didn't know what might happen." Lee asked, "Why would Lua do something like that?" Mina looked at him sharply. "Why? If there's a reason, does that make it okay? You say she disappeared. The world really is unfair. When Chan-hee suffered, the school and the police were silent. But when Lua, who trampled on others for fun, goes missing, suddenly everyone is desperate to find the culprit." At the factory, Chairman Kim staggered. His breaths grew weaker. He tried to open the door before Mina returned. Back at the restaurant, Lee lowered his head. "I'm sorry. It's natural for you to feel that way. If I had known what she was doing, I would never have let it be." Mina asked, "Why do you care as if she is your daughter?" He shook his head. "No. But if she were my daughter, and if she committed a crime, she should be punished." Amina was surprised by his strict ideology. At the factory, Chairman Kim rammed at the door, not realizing a device had been placed there. When he forced it open, a spark ignited the gas. An explosion ripped through the factory and threw him outside. At the restaurant, Mina spoke softly. "Earlier, you said you were the worst father. But if your daughter had seen you even once, she wouldn't have thought that. If I had met her, I would have told her, her father is a wonderful man." As those words lingered, Chairman Kim's broken body hit the ground outside the ruined factory. He was dead. Detective Cho arrived at the scene where Chairman Kim had died. Rain poured down as officers worked. Some of them said to preserve the crime scene, but Cho thought to himself, the rain started half an hour ago. All the clues have already been washed away. What's the point of preserving it now? He sighed. Such a big shot ended up dead. Another officer pointed toward the abandoned factory. Judging by the body's location, we believe he fell from there. His last sighting was in a limousine in front of the court. How did he get here so quickly, and why would he climb alone in such a dangerous place? Detective Cho asked, "What's the state of the building?" The officer replied, "It's in poor condition. After the explosion, the stairs are in terrible shape." "When will the equipment arrive?" Cho asked. "We requested a drone expert and a ladder truck. We're also checking CCTV footage." Chu narrowed his eyes. Could this also be the work of the man with teleportation? But the method seems far more complicated now. Has he evolved? Inside the building, Mina quietly erased her traces. Before the police could find anything, she retrieved the book she had given Chairman Kim. She muttered, "Fool. I told you there was a way to survive." The book contained instructions. There was a phone hidden between the pipes and the wall to request help. Mina took the phone, teleported to her safe place, and burned it. Later she opened the news and saw the reports. The anchor said, "We have obtained footage of Chairman Kim's final moments from an anonymous source. Viewer discretion is advised." The video showed Chairman Kim's voice. "Not enough compensation. Is this about money? We even gave an extra 100 million out of goodwill. I am innocent. What should I atone for? I am not guilty. You think a few deaths justify this kind of treatment?" The reporter explained. This video is believed to have been recorded just before Chairman Kim's death. Police are currently tracing the source. Mina's mother gasped. How vile he was. Mina simply replied, indeed. The reporter added, alongside the video, the informant also sent a voice message. The broadcast played a distorted voice saying, "This is punishment. For a better world." At the Ili Group head office, Lee Ji-hun, Lee Soo-han, and Won Huri watched the broadcast. Lee Ji-hun frowned. These foolish broadcasters. What's the point of altering the voice? Lee Soo-hyun said, I already requested the original file. But I can already guess whose voice it is. Lee Ji-hun's expression hardened. Ji-han. So this was also his work. Lee nodded. According to police intel, it's confirmed. But then doubt crossed his mind. Did I make the wrong call? At the time of Chairman Kim's death, Mina was with me. There wasn't a single moment she was out of sight. He remembered the words she once said. Pushing aside the thought, he stood up. For now, we're still digging into Jihan's whereabouts. His family knows nothing. But in his cloud, we found an encrypted ledger. There was an interesting name. Cha Woo Hayek of Spot Entertainment. Luo's fiancé. He appears to have received payments through a Spot Entertainment subcontractor. Could Jihan have been scouting idols on the street or something? Lee Ji-hyun scoffed. Is this an interrogation? That so-called engagement fell apart quickly. Luo saw through him. He wanted to marry into our family to escape being treated as the youngest of the Bukayang group. If he felt humiliated, maybe he held a grudge. But that man never had the guts. Won Huri interrupted. Wait. Jihan kept a very detailed schedule. According to it, this Thursday, he has a meeting with the recruiting manager of Spot Entertainment. The time and location are written. Lee Ji-hun said, Good. If that meeting still holds, it may be useful. Lee Soo-hyun agreed. Worth checking out. If the bait is taken, the one who cast it will appear. Speaking of bait, Chairwoman, there is something we'll need your cooperation on. Meanwhile, at home, Mina's mother was anxious. Doesn't it seem like more people are dying from falls lately? At your school, that boy fell to his death. Near our neighborhood PC cafe, that knife-wielding man suddenly fell from the air. It almost feels like a killing spree. She held Mina's hand. Honestly, I'm scared for you just going to school. I heard from the detective that a girl named Lua is missing too. Too many terrible things are happening around you. Maybe you should skip school. Mina shook her head. But I can't stay at home forever. I understand you worry because of what happened back then. But I'm truly fine now. I'm not scared anymore. Her mother's voice trembled. But I am afraid. I never wanted you to go through something like that again. Isn't it a relief that you have someone dependable now? Amina frowned. What do you mean? Her mother continued. Over dinner, I shared my worries with the detective. He told me not to worry, that he'll handle your case. He said he'll be checking on you regularly. Just like Detective Chu used to. Isn't he passionate? Mina tensed. Mum, why did you do that without asking me first? Her mother looked surprised. Why? Do you feel uncomfortable with that detective? Mina quickly replied. It's not like that. The next day, Mina visited the hospital to see Chan-hee. His grandmother greeted her warmly. You came again this weekend. You really helped me last time with those complicated documents. I'm so relieved. Thank you. Mina smiled. It's nothing. It's only what you're entitled to. How is Chan-hee? The grandmother's face fell. No improvement yet. We just wait, with no promise of when. My poor boy. For now, the subsidy covers the bills. But what about later? If he never wakes up, what will happen then? I can't let grandmother bear this burden. No matter what it takes, I'll take responsibility for Chan-hee. Suddenly, a calm voice interrupted. I think I might be able to help you with that. It was Lee Ji-han, Lua's grandmother. Mina froze. Why is she here? Chairwoman Lee Ji-han approached Chan-hee's grandmother at the hospital. You must be Chan-hee's grandmother. I am Lee Ji-han, Lua's grandmother. They greeted each other politely. Lee Ji-han continued. Today I'm not here as chairwoman of Ilhe Group, but as a grandmother. I could not turn a blind eye to the misfortune that befell Chan-hee. I too am in a difficult position because of my granddaughter's situation. If you don't mind, may we speak in private? Then she turned to Mina. You must be Mina. I heard you're close to Chan-hee. She greeted Mina warmly and asked, would you mind staying with Chan-hee for a little while? Mina agreed, puzzled about the chairwoman's intentions. Before this, Lee Soo-hyun said privately to chairwoman. He asked about Chan-hee's hospital bills. Regardless of life or death, Chan-hee must remain under our supervision, Lee said. He's at the center of all these supernatural incidents. Looking back, every victim was someone who tried to harm him. Chan-hee is precious to the culprit. The chairwoman agreed, and decided the Illy Foundation would sponsor the boy. Lee added one more request that required the chairwoman's approval. Back in the present, Mina asked why he was here with the chairwoman. Lee explained he was the investigator in charge of Lua's disappearance, and that he met the chairwoman often to report progress. Mina asked if Lee had come to visit his friend. She said she would visit whenever she could. Lee then dropped a shock. Miss Lua has been found. She's being transferred to Illy Hospital. Mina froze. Really? Thank goodness. Lee warned that they needed to investigate details, if Lua had reasons to hide herself. You may feel relieved that the missing person case is solved, but would Chan Hee want Lua to return? Everyone despises her. Amina shot back, Lua didn't just bully. She destroyed him. Lee fell quiet and excused himself, saying he had urgent business. He told Mina to give his regards to her mother as he left. Mina wondered why he looked so troubled. At the parking lot, Wanhari caught up with him worried. She told Lee about how many people had been hurt. Drug dealers, double agents, journalists, over 30 victims in total. If there's a hell, you and I will be cast into it, she said. Carry out your vengeance. I'll stand with you to the end. Lee, faintly encouraged, replied that he felt better and they would proceed as planned. The next day, breaking news hit the airwaves. Miss Lua of Ilhi Group had been found in the sea and was now in critical condition. The public reacted angrily at how a missing high schooler's case was handled like corporate secrecy, and students were upset too. Mina heard the report and felt the tension tighten. Lee added quietly, the killer must be curious. Someone he thought dead is actually alive. He will suspect a lie, and once that suspicion sparks, it won't die. The culprit will come to confirm the truth. The reporter introduced herself. Today we are going to cover the series of falling incidents. All the victims in these cases were either violent criminals or caused social unrest. Public opinion was divided. Many said the victims deserved it. Students called one of them trash who beat kids for fun, posted videos, and forced others to take drugs. Families of the victims said the judicial system had failed them, so it was no surprise people felt relief at the deaths. Back at the news station, the reporter continued. The suspected culprit left this message. But I want to ask, can a better world really be created through murder and fear? Elsewhere, Mina was watching the broadcast. She muttered, murder and fear. If you're scared, then don't do bad things. Then she saw the news about Lua being transferred to the hospital. There is no sincerity in this lie. In the middle of the sea, even a gold medal swimmer couldn't survive. They just want to cut me out. The moment I go to confirm her life or death, I'll be trapped. But it's true. I never confirmed her death. Detective, you want me to play along, don't you? Fine. Trap or not, I'll play with you. Suddenly, fire trucks rushed by. An emergency news alert appeared on her phone. A fire suspected to be arson had broken out in the district building. Rescue efforts for people trapped on the upper floors were failing. Mina smiled. I'm curious what's prepared for me, detective. I'll play with you next time. Sorry. At the hospital, Lee Ji-hun asked if the culprit would really fall for such a simple trap. Lee Soo-hyun explained. A trap must be simple and clear. Infrared sensors are set at the entrance, the vents, windows and under the bed. The floor reacts to even the lightest weight. If any trigger, flashbangs will explode from every direction. No matter how powerful he is, once blinded, he'll lose balance. He will be no different from this mannequin. Whether he teleports in or walks in, the situation will end for him. Meanwhile, Mina was already at the burning building, saving people. Inside the fire, Mina grabbed a firefighter's camera and teleported. Giving trapped people a rope to hold, she moved them in groups of 3. Reporters caught everything live. Suddenly, someone pointed. Look up there. More people were crying for help from the top of the building. Mina hesitated. Too risky. If I escape now, the fire helicopter can handle it. I've done enough. But then she noticed the desperate eyes of the crowd, all looking at her with hope. She smiled, gave them a victory sign, and teleported back. At the hospital, Lee Ji-hun watched the news in disbelief. You were right. A victory sign in that situation, the desire to show off is beyond imagination. Mina's voice echoed. Chan Hee, please keep watching over me. Saving people is so much fun. News channels kept replaying the rescue footage from the fire. Mina watched on her phone and felt the situation slipping out of control. Agencies, maybe even foreign intelligence, would come sniffing around if this kept going viral. A reporter asked a rescued woman what happened. The woman described choking on smoke, flames all around, and then a stranger grabbing her hand, and in a blink carrying her outside. Firefighters called the rescuer a hero. Mina blushed at the praise. It was a relief people thought the rescuer was a man, but the existence of video evidence, plus the earlier clip of her saving Chan-hee, meant it would only be a matter of time before someone tried to unmask her. Using Jae-han's voice with AI wasn't enough. If anyone was perceptive, they'd suspect the recordings were manufactured. And Detective Lee's instincts were sharp. If only her father were alive. He would have been about the same age as that man. Maybe his daughter would be her age too. There was something about Lee that nagged at her. She needed to find out more. At headquarters, Lee Soo-hyun timed Mina's teleports from the footage. Won-hee said it looked like 2 to 3 seconds per teleport. Lee agreed but warned it could be even faster. He noted how he moved 3 people at a time along the railing. There must be a weight limit. Borrowing the camera mid-rescue showed his vision was normal. After saving 15 people, he paused briefly. That hesitation could mean a distance limit or a cap on consecutive teleports. Won-hee suggested exploiting that limit. Lee answered that even 2 seconds might be enough. They decided to release the news about Lua's VIP room hospitalization. Meanwhile, at Spot Entertainment, Cha Woo-hyek confronted a man who had harassed a woman. He calmed the woman, told the man his behavior was unacceptable, and showed the footage of him as evidence. The man tried to defend himself, his guard pinned him down. Cha Woo-hyek warned him to be careful with his reputation, and left the scene with the woman, promising protection. He scoffed aloud that if Lua had been here she would have seen through this man instantly. He ordered his team to prepare. He would visit Ili Hospital in person. Lua was someone close to him. Back at Mina's hideout, she tried to dig up more on Lee Soo-hyun, but found no clear digital trail. She suspected he might be a spy or someone who keeps a low profile. She had to confront things directly. She had no choice but to go meet him face to face. At the hospital, Lee Soo-hyun and Won-hee were preparing for the culprit to make his move. If the culprit did not fall into the trap, they would have to move to the next plan and contact a certain person. Hearing that, Hari was shocked. At Mina's abandoned building, she was practicing teleporting relentlessly. She admitted to herself that it was not as easy as she thought, but she was starting to get a feel for it. Once she practiced in the field, she would be perfect. She thought it would be great if she had a test subject, and briefly considered Jihan, but quickly dismissed the idea, thinking that if he died during testing it would be a disaster. She wondered if she should go meet him, since it had been 3 days since she last went into the abandoned mine. Inside that mine, Jihan sat weak and thin in a corner. When he heard movement, he asked who was there. Mina appeared and asked, "Jihan, do you know who I am?" He did not reply. She thought to herself that it was confirmed. When the pierced area suffered internal injuries, his cognitive abilities had dropped significantly. "That should be enough," she whispered. "Let me thank you in advance." At the same time, in a car, Lua's fiancé spoke to his bodyguard. He asked if they were certain Lua was in a coma. The bodyguard replied that they could not be sure yet. Then he remembered the past. Back then, Lua stood alone at the corner of the party. He approached and remarked that she looked bored. She explained that her grandmother, Lee Ji-hein, had been busy, so she came on her behalf but found the party dull. She added that maybe the event was boring because of too many old-fashioned people. He told her she had not changed, but pointed out that it was rare to gather so many high-ranking officials in one place, saying it showed the influence of his company. She looked at him and said he was only doing business with his father's money, and yet was so confident. He replied that she was right, but people like them had to be good at using the resources given to them. She countered that she had not received pocket money since middle school and walked away, remarking that he considered allowance an asset. Before leaving, she told him loudly to forget their engagement and said he was not charming. Everyone around them heard her. In the present, he bit his lip thinking about her insult. At the hospital, one of the guards reported to Lee Soo-hyun that all routes to the VIP room were normal and no abnormalities were found by the drones. The VIP ICU was also normal. Hari asked what they should do if the culprit did not show up. Lee Soo-hyun said if the culprit did not show up, then it might be the limit of his capabilities. They were monitoring a 10-kilometer radius and all the hospitals in every direction, identifying everyone with facial recognition. Agents were monitoring interference. It was impossible to sneak in unnoticed. Plus, the blackout curtains blocked visibility inside the ICU. He reasoned that the culprit could not teleport into a place he could not see, and that this was the limit of his ability. He believed they could confirm it themselves today. Just then, one of his men entered the room with a report from the drone team. Hari asked if it was Jihan or Mina. The guard replied it was Mina. She had just exited the subway and was heading toward the hospital. Harry noticed Mina was watching them through the cameras. Lee Soo-hyun asked where she was heading, and his men reported she was moving toward the ICU. Lee said it was strange she came without using her power. If she had one, she still could not enter the ICU without seeing inside. He added that maybe Jahan was the real culprit and Mina, just another victim. Hari asked who really killed Lua, but Lee only said the evidence pointed to Jahan, while Mina only had circumstantial suspicion. Meanwhile, Mina saw the hospital filled with cameras, men in suits and drones. She thought all eyes were on her and found it almost exciting. She entered the bathroom, a blind spot, before walking toward the ICU again. Counting her steps, she thought she had tested enough. Hari blocked her, asking why she came. Mina said she wanted to see Lua, curious if she would wake up. Hari refused to let her in. Just then Lua's fiancé Che Woo-yuk arrived at the hospital. Lee worried their mission could be exposed if he and Mina met. Mina used a thread wrapped around her hand, which lead in bathroom and tied to a figure. At that moment, a figure teleported out from the bathroom. Hari's taser failed, and before Lee could act, the figure vanished. An explosion shook the ICU. Lee rushed inside and found Jihan dead. Mina peeked in, asking if it was really him. Lee told Hari to remove her. As she stumbled, Che Woo-yuk caught her, asking if she was alright. Mina looked at him closely, wondering who he was.